Welcome to The Explainer. I'm really glad you're here today. Look, if you're tuning in, chances are you're standing right at the edge of a major financial milestone. And honestly, you're probably feeling a crazy mix of excitement and, let's be real, maybe a little bit of dread. That is totally normal. So I just want you to sit back, maybe grab a warm cup of coffee or tea, and just relax. For the next few minutes, think of me as your personal calm mentor. We're going to walk through one of the absolute most common hurdles in investing together. And I promise you, by the end of our time today, you are going to know exactly what to do.
So let's just go ahead and acknowledge the elephant in the room right off the bat. You've done all the hard work. You built up your safety net. You finally opened that brokerage account. You even picked out your investments. The money is literally sitting right there. But your finger's just hovering over the buy button. Why? Because there's this terrifying question echoing in your head. What if I invest all my money today and the market crashes tomorrow? Listen, I completely validate that anxiety. You worked really hard for those savings. It is naturally terrifying to think about making a huge mistake right at the finish line. But today, we're going to remove that fear completely.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our soothing roadmap for today. We'll look at the math versus emotion decision, define lump sum versus DCA, explore behavior during market drops, build your example investment plan, lay out some solid rules for fearful investors, and finally, lock in the no-regret rule. By the end, you'll have a clear, actionable, panic-free path forward.
Section 1. The math versus emotion decision. Understanding the true nature of your choice.
Choosing how to put your money into the market looks pretty harmless on paper. It's just a transfer of funds, right? But in your mind, it feels like this massive, irreversible leap. It's honestly one of the most emotionally charged decisions for beginners. Really, this decision boils down to a massive tug-of-war between math and emotion. On one side, we have the mathematically optimal approach. Statistically, this gives you slightly better returns over a long period because, well, your money gets longer market exposure. But on the other side, we have the emotionally friendly approach. This one just feels psychologically safer, and it drastically reduces the emotional shock of a sudden market drop. Now listen to me closely here. Your goal is not to win some theoretical math competition. Your goal is to pick a strategy that you can execute calmly and consistently without losing a single wink of sleep.
Section 2. Lump sum versus DCA. Defining the two paths forward.
Let's jump into the actual methods. The first path is called lump sum investing. This simply means taking the entire amount of money you have available to invest and putting it all into the market as soon as possible. Think of it like ripping off a Band-Aid, or, jumping straight into a freezing cold pool. It's incredibly fast, it gets the job done super efficiently, but yeah, that initial shock to your system can be pretty intense.
Then we have the second path, which is called dollar cost averaging, or DCA for short. This means investing the exact same amount of money at regular intervals over a set period of time. So going back to our metaphor, this is like peeling the Band-Aid off agonizingly slowly, or just walking into that cold pool step by step by step. Sure, it takes a lot longer to get fully submerged, but it dramatically reduces that sudden gasp for air panic.
Okay, let's do a very quick, completely low-stakes quiz just to lock this in. Imagine you have $10,000 saved up. Instead of investing it all today, you decide to invest exactly $1,000 every single month for the next 10 months. What strategy are you using? Well, if you said dollar cost averaging, you nailed it. You are slowly walking into the pool.
Now, what's really fascinating when you consider these trade-offs side by side is how clearly they map out your options. Historically speaking, lump sum actually wins more frequently. Because the stock market tends to go up over time, putting all your money in right away just gives it more time to grow. The big downside? A super high risk of intense regret if the market happens to drop the very next day. DCA, on the flip side, might suffer from what we call cash drag, which basically means your uninvested cash just isn't growing as fast, but it actively, beautifully reduces the emotional pain and anxiety of a sudden downturn.
Section 3. Behavior during market drops. How investors react when things go wrong.
I want to let you in on a little secret that the financial industry loves to gloss over. The absolute biggest risk to your wealth isn't picking the slightly wrong ETF. No, the biggest risk is your own human emotion. Specifically, the totally natural urge to panic sell everything when the stock market inevitably experiences a temporary drop. Let's look at two scenarios to see the difference between just monitoring the market and actually investing. First, we have Sophie. She decided to hold her money back, just waiting for the quote-unquote perfect dip. She's constantly checking financial charts, literally treating them like daily weather forecasts. But here's the thing, she isn't investing. She's just experiencing extremely high anxiety disguised as responsibility. Contrast that with an automated investor. They just set a strict DCA schedule, completely ignored the terrifying news headlines, and felt absolute relief. True investing is supposed to feel like boring, forward motion, not constant stressful prediction.
Section 4. Your example investment plan. Moving from theory to action.
Okay, let's eliminate the paralysis of indecision right here, right now. To help you pick your path, consider this a simple checklist of green flags. You should definitely lean toward lump sum if you generally stay pretty calm under volatility, your investment timeline is 10 years or more, and you are 100% confident you won't panic sell if the market drops. But you should absolutely choose DCA if you feel nervous about market drops, if you really love the safety of a predictable, structured schedule, and if the mere fear of regret is already keeping you up at night. So if you've realized that DCA is your comfort zone, here is exactly how you build that plan. Step 1. Choose a duration. Let's say 6 months. Step 2. Divide your total investment amount. So for example, if you have $12,000, divide that by 6 months, and that equals $2,000 a month. Step 3. Schedule the exact dates for those installments, maybe the first of every month. Boom, done. By doing this, you create a completely predictable schedule that allows you to totally ignore tomorrow's chaotic news headlines.
Section 5. Rules for fearful investors. Guidelines for the anxious beginner. Now, if you're still feeling a huge knot in your stomach, take a deep breath with me. It is more than okay to be an anxious beginner, seriously. To help you feel completely secure, I want to give you 3 fundamental rules designed specifically to keep you safe from your own emotions. Rule number 1. If you can invest all at once without panic selling later, lump sum is statistically your best bet. Rule number 2. If the mere thought of lump sum investing literally keeps you awake at night, forgive yourself and choose DCA immediately. Just do it. And rule number 3. Listen to me. This is the most important one. DCA absolutely must have a definitive finish line. I see so many beginners fall into the trap of accidental DCA forever. They just keep pausing their investments, waiting and hoping that next month's prices will be a tiny bit lower. Do not do that. Give your plan an end date and stick to it no matter what. So the crucial point we keep coming back to is captured beautifully in this classic investing quote. Time in the market is usually more important than timing the market. It's an undeniable truth. Absolutely no one can perfectly predict what the stock market will do tomorrow, next week, or next month. Not the experts on TV, not you, not me, and definitely not that guy making wild promises on TikTok. Your greatest advantage as an investor isn't some magical crystal ball. It's simply giving your money the time it needs to grow.
Section 6. The No Regret Rule. A contract with your future self.
Once you make your choice, whether that's lump sum or DCA, you really need a tangible boundary to protect your mindset. You need a script that actually prevents your future self from second-guessing your decision at 2 a.m. when the market inevitably gets a little bumpy. I want you to read this script aloud with me right now. Ready? I accept that the market may drop. I cannot predict short-term movements. My plan is based on time, not perfect timing. I highly encourage you to physically write this down or at least mentally sign this contract with yourself right now. Whenever fear starts to creep in, just repeat this script. It is your ultimate shield against regret and your anchor for lasting peace of mind.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. The absolute best investing method isn't the one that wins a theoretical math award. It's the one you can actually execute calmly and finish. So, will you choose a process you can follow without panic? I know you can. But what happens when you finally push that buy button and the market actually does crash the very next day? Well, that is the ultimate test of your system and exactly what we'll be covering next time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.